Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Keith, back with another brand new video. In today's video, I'm gonna be going over some theories of what I think is gonna be going on in the last two episodes of Goosebumps, the 2023 series. So with that said and done, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into these theories. Alright, quickly before I get into the video, I'm gonna be going over the episode synopsis for episodes 9 and 10, and I will be talking about spoilers from the previous episode. Well, not the previous episode, but the preview for episode 9 that we got in episode 8. So, just a little heads up, a little spoiler warning there. Don't want any spoilers. You can click out the video. But yeah, let's get into this. First, let's talk about episode 9 description. So, episode info. The teens go on a road trip to Seattle to stay with Margot's mom. See, I said yesterday in my yesterday's video, I said San Diego, but I knew that was wrong. I knew in my head that was wrong, and I totally forgot. Like it takes place in Washington, so Seattle, of course, makes much more sense. And it goes on to say, Mr. Bratt is on the verge of selling his story, a fictionalized version of the real events that happened in Port Lawrence, but he needs to find his perfect ending. So that's the episode description for episode 9, Night of the Living Dummy Part 2. So we know Slappy's going to be playing a big role in that. And now we'll just read the episode description for the season finale, episode 10, Welcome to Horrorland. As the teens get back from their Seattle trip, they quickly realize their loved ones and all of Port Lawrence are in grave danger. A new evil has taken over the town, and they need to band together to save it. Alright, so very interesting. It's last episode, they're gonna be introducing some kind of new evil, some kind of new antagonist. Right now it's really just been Slappy, not even really Slappy, but it was Harold Biddle for the longest time. But now he's moved on, and what's gonna happen is Slappy. What's going on there. Well, let's talk about it. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is Mr. Bratt and this book he's writing. We heard him mention episode 7 that he's a writer. He's had some short horror stories published in Horror Weekly, and he's gonna be writing some kind of book, some kind of fictionalized books, some kind of fictionalized book about what's going on in this town. It'd be crazy. It'd be kind of funny, and ironic if like we do see this book like get released like on the show. Um, and it's called Goosebumps. I think that would be kind of like a little meta. But he needs to find something to get his perfect ending, and I think that's going to be Slappy. I think Mr. Brad is kind of going to become curious, as you see in this photo. Uh, he has his shovel, and he's got a jacket on. He's got some gloves on. He's obviously somewhere at night, and it has to be like I think he's gonna go looking for Slappy, and probably, thinks he has to dig him up out of the snow. Um, but after everything that happened, you think that he kind of stay away from it, but curiosity does get the best of us sometimes. It does happen. Um, so yeah, why would Mr. Brad be doing this? And is Slappy gonna manipulate him? And let's talk about Slappy's manipulation because there's two people right now that Slappy could manipulate. The first one we're talking about, Mr. Pratt. We don't know much about his past. Apparently, we are going to find out a little more in the next episode. There was an interview where some of the producers, showrunners, talked about episode 9, kind of goes into his past and all that. Um, in episode 7, he mentions that, he's been going through a rough time. He doesn't go into details because, like I said, he doesn't want to get into it with his students, and that would be inappropriate of him, as their teacher. My guess would be maybe he's going through a divorce or has gone through a divorce, some kind of breakup. That could be it, but it could be a situation where he's pretty much primed for Slappy's manipulation. We don't know. Um, let me get into the second person who I think Slappy might be manipulating. All right, so I kind of mentioned this in a previous video, but I feel like another person who might end up being manipulated by Slappy is Margot's dad, Colin. As we say, Slappy tends to manipulate people who kind of, you know, feel like, they feel like losers. And, maybe Colin doesn't show that outright, but we kind of saw when Isabella laid into him in episode 2 that you kind of see he kind of took it, he seems to kind of like internalized it in a way. And that could be, Slappy could get to him. We don't know. Um, he's sort of like, he's been the only person who's kind of like felt like an outcast. When I say outcast, of course, I don't mean like what you might think of an outcast, but he's the one person who's really out of the loop of everything. And Slappy could use that advantage and manipulate him. Now, with the fact that it really kind of looks like it's gonna be Mr. Brad that dicks up Slappy, I think it's gonna be a combination of both. Um, I think I think Mr. Brad's gonna find Slappy, bring him back to the house, put him back together. And I think in his mind, he's sort of like doing it for like not good intentions, but not like any bad reasons. He just like, maybe he wants to like interview him for his book or whatever, and get into his mind. And we saw, Colin interact with Mr. Brad. Of course, it was Biddle as Mr. Brad during those times, but of course he doesn't know that. And we might see Colin visit Mr. Brad again, and maybe he comes across Slappy, and Slappy is able to manipulate him. Slappy needs some kind of spell done. What that spell entails, we don't know. I think it's gonna be a spell that changes Port Lawrence into Horrorland based on the title of the last episode, Welcome to Horrorland. So that'd be very interesting to see. So really, I think these two theories are gonna kind of come together as one theory, and we'll see what happens. Now, what is Slappy's plan? Well, let's talk about this image. Alright, so in this image, we have the scene that of the vision that Ephraim had when he was about to say the spell that Slappy had him get out of Kondu's corpse and everything. We see it's a tower on fire. Now, there's been some speculation as to like what this could be, and the main speculation is that this is the Tower of Nowhere from Panic Park. Panic Park was a park that opened in the 1950s, and it's sort of like the opposite. I guess they have some kind of rivalry with Horrorland. I'm gonna have to kind of like do some guesstimating here and some research, because this is from the Goosebumps Horrorland series, which I've only ever read like 2 books of. Well, I read the first one, like half the second one, and as currently as I'm now like recollecting the original series, and I'm gonna go on to the 2000 series and the Horrorland series. I haven't read like everything from the Horrorland series basically, but eventually I will. But the Tower of Nowhere is basically an attraction in a Panic Park, and it's this tower that just goes up and up and up and up and up, and the higher it goes, the hotter it gets. And from what I read of like what people said about it in the book, it's not actually on fire. Um, but just the higher you go, the hotter you feel, and it gets more intense. For the show, they might want to do something a little more crazier or a little more, visual appeal. So that's why we have it on fire. So yeah, I think, whatever this is possibly that is like this show's version of the Tower to Nowhere. And what is this? What is this new evil? Is it this the person who runs Panic Park? And it's possible like the Horrorland episode is sort of going to combine Horrorland and Panic Park as like one place. And is this new evil? Is it the horrors? Is it this guy from Panic Park named Carl Menace, I think his name is. What is exactly going on here? We don't know, but I'm very excited to find out. Yeah, so we have a lot to expect from these last couple episodes. I think like the next episode we're with the stuff going on with Mr. Brad, possibly find Slappy. I almost forgot to mention there's one other third theory. We see Slappy say in the preview next episode, "What took you so long?" And he says that as if he knows the person that finds him. Um, who could that be? Who could possibly know Slappy at this time? It could be anyone. Hey, we don't know. Kandu could be coming back from the dead or something. I don't know. Maybe it could be some other character. It could be like some character from Horrorland. It could be this Carl Menace guy from the books. We don't know. I think we're going to see, the kids go off on the Seattle road trip. And I think the adults that stay behind, they're going to have to deal with whatever's going on, for episode 9 and episode 10. The kids return. We know we're going to be seeing Fifi the Poodle. I think these last 2 episodes are going to be pretty crazy, especially the last episode. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. I'm very excited about these last 2 episodes to see where they go. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What's your theories? How do you want to see this series end? How do you want to see it set up a second season if we do get that? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Drop a comment, leave a like. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.